you probably wouldn't like skateboarding. There aren't very many other sports out there where the primary way that you measure how good you are is by how well you can deal with failure, fear, and pain. Most of the time you spend practicing feels like an exercise in complete and utter futility, either due to a lack of your current skill level, which is directly correlated to how much time you've already spent practicing, or an inability to suppress your body's number one built-in protection mechanism. The initial learning curve is essentially vertical, the rewards are sporadic, and you're constantly one small miscalculation away from ending up in the emergency room. Now, why would anyone want to put themselves through that kind of torture? So today I'm working on landing a new trick called a pressure flip. It's a particularly difficult trick because you don't get to use any of the other tricks you've already learned as a base for it. But essentially what you're trying to do is build up a bunch of pressure on this back corner of your board, and then release it all at once to get the board to flip over and spin around, kind of like an inward heel flip, but without using your front foot to flip the board over like you normally would for a heel flip, and without doing the same motion you're used to for a pop shove it to get the board to spin. So it's gonna be kind of a trial and error situation, but I'm just gonna start at the beginning and try to get as much progress on it as I can today. We'll see how it goes. What did I do, a pop shove? Wait, which way to go? The wrong way, right? Do I need tighter trucks, maybe? I want to see if tightening up my trucks does anything for me. It doesn't flip! I'm gonna dedicate so much energy to figure this out. Shoot! My old board was getting a little beat up, so I decided to throw a new deck on here, and it's actually popping way easier now, so glad I tried that. I feel like I'm about to get it today. Oh, got it. All right guys, so fortunately I was able to land a decently clean one before I snapped the tail off of my board, but I hope you can see what happens when you're able to fully dedicate yourself to a cause. If you look back at the footage from day one, you can easily see how I felt about the challenge going into it. It pretty much seemed impossible. Even whenever I was literally standing on the ground next to it and just trying to flick the board with one foot, I still could not for the life of me get the board to flip in the right direction. Now, feeling defeated, feeling frustrated, you can't allow that to ruin your enjoyment of skateboarding. You can use that as a reason or an excuse to quit, but if you instead learn to welcome those types of feelings as opportunities to improve, you'll see that they're actually motivational blessings that you can use to leverage yourself to get better and have even more fun. Once I got to the point in the day where I could tell that my emotions were getting added into the equation, I already knew that I had accomplished the first and most important breakthrough of the entire process. It was like the first domino was falling that was eventually going to knock over all the other ones. So why do I say that skateboarding is sometimes not fun? It's because progression is fun, and progression is extremely hard to come by whenever you're complacent. That is, you're fully satisfied with how far you've come or your current set of skills. Now, obviously there are multiple aspects to skateboarding being fun, and progression is just one of those things, but think about it from the perspective of somebody who's just trying to learn how to skateboard for the first time and they can't even balance on their board yet. Don't you think they're going to have even more fun once they learn how to ride comfortably? In addition to acquiring a new skill that they're going to be able to use forever and ever into the future, think about the feeling of accomplishment they're going to be able to enjoy from knowing that they had to work so hard at it and then eventually succeeding at it. So what's your opinion? Do you think that trying to solve a hard problem or learn a new skill is fun, even though you're constantly running into roadblocks, sometimes you go down the wrong path, maybe you're muttering to yourself how frustrating everything is, or you're constantly getting hit in the shins with your skateboard, and you have to decide to keep pushing through despite all the setbacks and discomforts? For me, even though I know from an outsider's perspective it probably looks like I'm completely miserable in that state, on the inside, I actually don't feel that way at all. Sometimes you just need to reach a breaking point like that because even though it might seem kind of uncomfortable the first few times that you do it, eventually you'll learn to welcome it as a positive experience that you'll actually seek out more of in the future because you'll know that deep down, you're about to get something that you've wanted for a long time. So for me, the full goal that I wanted to accomplish was making this video, and learn how to do a pressure flip was just a part of that, but it actually took me a really long time to figure out what I wanted to say and even longer how I was going to convey that. But the more that I thought about it, the more that I wanted to figure it out, the more I obsessed over it, the more that it started to come together like I was putting together a puzzle and the pieces were just sitting right there in front of me the whole time. This video is sponsored by Active Ride Shop. If you've never heard of Active, they're a skate shop headquartered in California, and they have an online store that you can access by going to activerideshop.com. They carry all the top skate brands from apparel to skateboards to parts and tools, and they're run by cool people who think like we do and are in line with our values. So to get the best deals on your next piece of skateboarding equipment or clothing, you can click the top link in the description section to head over to their website. I hope you guys are all having an awesome week, and remember, never stop improving.